Hello friends, in this video we are going to see various terms related with flow when it is between two parallel plates where one plate is stationary and another plate is moving. We are going to find the relations for velocity and shear stress distribution in this video. So let's move on to video. We are considering two plates. So in diagram there are two plates. This is first plate which is stationary and this is another plate which is moving. As well as there exists the flow of a liquid or fluid. Say for example this is flowing in this direction, as well as the plate is moving with velocity, another velocity, say capital V. So we will denote velocity of plate by letter V and velocity of flow by letter U. In this case, there will be certain situations where we have to consider maximum or average conditions. So as usual, we will start with our derivation with considering two types of pressures or two types of stresses. One is pressure in the liquid and another is the shear stress. So here it is a element ABCD, A, B, C, D having length equal to dx. As usual, we are considering this direction as x direction and this direction as y direction. The height of element is dy, this height is say dy, and it is located, it's one of the edge, this point B is located at distance y from the stationary plate. So the thickness between the plates, that is this gap, is nothing but small t. This is small t. This gap is nothing but a total thickness, that is total value of y. So we are going to consider if width equal to 1, say this is three-dimensional element, and now this width which I have shown in the diagram is equal to 1, then in that case we are considering that there are total 4 forces acting on 4 different faces. So first, if this pressure value is larger when compared with this pressure value, then it is clear that there is a flow from higher pressure to lower pressure. So when flow is from this direction, this higher pressure P plus dabba P by dabba x into dx, this dabba P by dabba x is nothing but the pressure gradient. So value of pressure gradient is more, shows us that flow is from this direction. So this pressure multiplied by area, actually this area, this shaded area is nothing but the dy into 1. So the force acting on the face, this vertical face CD is equal to P plus dabba P by dabba x dx into dy. Similarly, on face AB, the pressure will be P and area will be dy into 1, so P dy will be the force. If we consider two faces, say for example this is and this is, then in that case we can consider the distribution of shear stresses. So let at distance y shear stress is tau, and with small increment dy, this dy, it becomes tau plus dabba tau by dabba y into dy. Then in that case this stresses multiplied by distances dx, this is nothing but the distance dx, so this dx multiplied by this width 1 becomes dx into 1. So hatched area becomes dx into 1. So pressure multiplied by stress multiplied by area becomes force. So shear forces can be shown as shown in figure. So we can consider U equal to 1 upon mu dabba P by dabba x y square upon 2 plus C1y plus C2, as usual equation of velocity representation in case of parallel plates. Now the conditions are changing. In initial case, when stationary plates were present at the both the locations, that is first location and second location, we were considering the velocities at that plate equal to 0 due to no slip condition. But now in our case, one plate is having 0 velocity and another plate is having velocity equal to capital V. So we are just changing the boundary conditions, and accordingly the values of constant, these C1 and C2, will get changed. So we will start with considering boundary condition as at y equal to 0, u equal to 0. Here in this equation, when this y value is 0, this is stationary plate, so u value is equal to 0. So if we put this value as 0, this y value as 0, then it is clear that this is 0, this C2 value will be obviously equal to 0. So it gives us C2 equal to 0. Important. Now second boundary condition is that at y equal to t, this u is nothing but the velocity of flow, that is v. So putting this, we can have this v is equal to, now this u will become v and this y will become t. This y will become t. So our equation becomes v is equal to 1 upon mu delta p by delta x t square upon 2 plus c1 into t. Here we can find out the value of c1 as v upon t minus 1 upon mu delta p by delta x into t upon 2. So substituting, u can be calculated as, now in this equation we have obtained the value of c1. So we can find the value of u as 1 upon mu delta p by delta x y square upon 2 plus this v upon t minus 1 upon mu delta p upon delta x into t upon 2 bracket complete times y. We can take some terms as a common term. So this 1 upon mu term and 1 upon mu term can be considered as a single term, minus 1 upon 2 mu delta p by delta x. This is ty by 2 and y square upon 2. 2 is taken as common, so it becomes ty minus y square. And this term v into y upon t becomes plus v into y upon. This type of flow is called as Cauchy flow. So the derivation says that this u depends on two things. First is this gradient delta p by delta x, and this velocity, this is the first parameter, and this is the second parameter, that is velocity of the plate v. So in Cauchy flow, velocity depends on delta p by delta x and v. These are the two things. So there is no pressure gradient in the direction of flow, then if this delta p by delta x value becomes 0, then it is clear that this u will clearly depend upon this velocity only term v into y upon t. then it is clear that this u will depend on the term v into y upon t. So we know Newton's law of viscosity. According to Newton's law of viscosity, we know it is tau is equal to mu du upon dy, delta u upon delta y. Here we have find the value of mu, hence we can calculate tau equal to mu delta by delta y of u is nothing but the v into y upon t minus 1 upon 2 mu delta p by delta x ty minus y square. This is the square bracket term. After simplification, we can have tau equal to mu into this derivative of y with respect to variable dy becomes 1. This t into y term becomes t and y square becomes 2y. So equation becomes mu into v upon t plus 1 half delta p by delta x in bracket t minus 2y. After simplification, I can write it as mu v upon t plus minus delta p by delta x into this t by 2 minus y. So it is clear that shear stress vary linearly with distance from boundary. So as usual, we have found that nature of shear stress is also linear. So we are going to find at boundaries at fixed plate. This is the first boundary condition where we want to find y value is 0 and tau value is say tau naught but first location, stationary location. So tau naught 1 can be calculated as by putting y value equal to 0. This term does not change at all, so mu into v upon t plus this will become 0, so minus delta p by delta x into t upon 2. So this is the shear stress at stationary plate. Further, by using another conditions, we can find at y equal to t, tau is equal to tau naught but second point. These are the 2 points. This is tau naught 1 and this is tau naught 2. So at second point, this tau naught 2 becomes this mu v upon t does not change at all plus minus delta p by delta x t upon 2 minus t. This absorbs, this negative sign will get absorbed, so we can write it as mu v upon t plus delta p by delta x into t by 2. At midsection, we were interested in calculation of shear stresses at midsection because in previous cases it was 0, but now we want to check whether it is 0 in this case or not. So at midsection, that is y equal to t by 2, let tau equal to tau c. So tau c is, this term becomes 0, this term becomes 0, so only initial term mu v upon t is there. So it is clear that it is not 0 at all. So another question arises in our mind, that where it is 0, so that will be the point of maximum velocity, because whenever there are 0 shear stresses, it means resistance is 0, it means velocity is larger or maximum. So to find point of 0 shear stress, put tau equal to 0. Then we will have this 0 equal to mu v upon t plus this minus delta p by delta x into this t by. So we are interested in calculation of y value, hence this minus mu v upon t equal to minus delta p by delta x into t by 2 minus y. So we will keep this term on one side and we will move this term on another side, this term on another side. So cancelling these negative signs, we have mu v upon t into 1 upon delta p by delta x. We will keep it as it is because it is nothing but the pressure gradient. So it becomes t by 2 minus y. So value of y becomes t by 2 minus mu v upon t into minus 1 upon delta p by delta x. So if I want to talk about actual distribution of velocity, then it will look something like this. See, this is the stationary plate hashed already. If I want to talk about velocity at y equal to 0, at this point velocity will be 0. It will go on increasing at a particular value of y where shear stresses are 0. So this is the point of u max where shear stresses are 0. This is the shear stress distribution diagram and this is the velocity distribution diagram. It is clear that at midpoint velocity is not maximum and shear stresses are not 0. But wherever shear stresses are 0, at that point velocity is maximum. And at the edge we do have velocity equal to this v. This v is nothing but the plate velocity in the direction of v as shown in figure, and corresponding shear stresses are these, that is tau naught 2. These are the tau naught 2 and these are tau naught 1. These shear stresses are located at the plate boundaries. Here we can consider that at center, that is at distance t by 2, we have shear stresses equal to mu v upon t. So these are also important formulae. That's all. Thank you.